The smell of floor polish still clung to his hands when the graduation music began, and for a moment, the sound echoed like a memory rather than a celebration. Elias Crow stood at the back of the sunlit stadium in his faded janitor's uniform, gripping a rolled-up program he had found on an empty seat. High above him, banners fluttered in the warm daytime breeze, and rows of proud families rose to their feet. In the center aisle, two identical figures in blue gowns stepped forward together, tassels swaying in perfect sync. Elias felt his chest tighten as he realized his twin daughters had made it to this moment without him ever missing a night shift, without ever asking for more than he could give. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Life Spark Stories. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. Elias had spent the last 12 years cleaning schools, hospitals, and offices while the world slept. After losing his wife in a sudden accident, he learned to survive on coffee, quiet prayers, and the sound of two little girls breathing in the next room. He washed uniforms by hand when machines broke, learned braids from old library books, and hid his exhaustion behind a steady smile. There were mornings he dropped them at school with hands still smelling of bleach, pretending that nothing hurt. The twins, Maribel and Taran, grew up watching their father bow his head not in defeat, but in determination. He never told them about the nights he almost gave up. The graduation ceremony unfolded under a bright sky, sunlight glinting off polished shoes and proud tears. Elias stayed where he was, unsure if he belonged among suits and dresses. His shoulders were broad but tired, his posture shaped by years of pushing carts and mops. On his forearm, half hidden beneath a frayed sleeve, a faded tattoo peeked out, its edges softened by time. He had not thought about that mark in years. It belonged to another life, one filled with sand, heat, and brotherhood, before grief had changed everything. As applause swelled, a tall figure in crisp military blues moved down the aisle, scanning the crowd with practiced awareness. The USMC Captain had been invited to present awards to honor students entering public service. His stride slowed as his eyes caught the glimpse of ink on Elias' arm. The captain froze mid-step, as if time itself had paused. The symbol was unmistakable, one known only to those who had stood in impossible places together. His gaze sharpened, disbelief flickering across his face. Elias noticed the attention and instinctively pulled his sleeve lower, embarrassed. He had spent years trying to disappear, to be invisible except to his daughters. The captain's stillness drew whispers, and the ceremony faltered for a breath. Then the officer turned fully toward Elias, eyes filled not with authority but recognition and respect. The air felt heavy, charged with something unspoken. Elias' heart pounded as memories surged, of dust storms, promises made, and brothers lost. The captain approached, stopping a respectful distance away. Without words, he straightened and raised a hand in a silent gesture of honor. The sunlight caught the movement and the crowd fell quiet, sensing the weight of the moment. Elias stood frozen, unsure how a man he had never met could see him so clearly. Tears blurred his vision as he realized that his past, the part he had buried to survive, still mattered. The twins turned from the stage, eyes wide as they spotted their father at the center of attention, confusion melting into awe. The announcer, voice trembling, explained the significance of the tattoo and the sacrifice it represented. Applause erupted, louder than before, rolling through the stadium like a wave. Elias felt something inside him loosen, a knot he had carried alone for years. For the first time since his wife's passing, he allowed himself to be seen not just as a janitor, but as a father who had endured, served, and loved fiercely. Maribel and Taran crossed the stage later, diplomas held high, their smiles brighter than the sun. They looked toward their father, pride shining in their eyes. Elias pressed a hand to his chest, overwhelmed by the realization that every sacrifice had led to this shared victory. The captain stepped back, giving the moment to the family, his job done in a way no ceremony script could have planned. As the crowd slowly dispersed under the clear daytime sky, Elias remained standing, breathing in the sound of hope. He knew tomorrow he would return to work, but something had changed. He walked taller now, carrying the quiet assurance that dignity can survive even the hardest years. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Life Spark Stories, so more people can feel moments like this. Before the ending, a special request for you. Comment below with the word honor if you believe unseen sacrifices deserve to be recognized.